It's 12 o'clock noon on Wednesday, which means it's time for Rip It Live on Facebook, where we talk about all things softball, including college recruiting, high school happenings, and the latest in Rip It paraphernalia and equipment, so that you, the softball community, can be better educated to make the best decisions possible. And you can see why more players, more coaches, and more parents are choosing the Rip It brand for their softball needs. I'm your host, Wes Pollock, and we have another great show today. We have two special guests on the show as we discuss preparations for the high school playoff season and how coaches and their teams change, adapt, and adjust their strategies and overall play, as well as their mental approach from the regular season to the playoff season. First, we have Coach Ray Whobrey from the St. Cloud Lady Bulldogs. As well, we have Coach Kaylee Bitterman from the First Academy Royals. Both coaches are well respected and have enjoyed great success in their high school at the high school level, with each of the teams and both of them have begun their playoffs in their respective high school playoff divisions. I want to welcome you both to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
It's an all high school playoff perspective show today from two of the more well-respected and knowledgeable coaches in high school softball. We'll have many questions for each of them, and we invite you, the Rip It Live on Facebook audience, to join in and ask your questions for our guest coaches, comment on your own experiences with high school softball, as well as the playoff picture. But before we get to Coach Whobrey and Coach Bitterman, we have our product giveaway announcements. So last week's product giveaway was the $50 Rip It gift certificate. And the winner of the gift certificate for $50 was Billy James. Billy James is the winner of the Rip It $50 gift certificate. Congratulations, Billy. This week's product giveaway is another $50 Rip It giveaway certificate that can be used at ripit.com. So again, the $50 gift certificate is on the table for a lucky winner for next week, and will be announced in next week's show. And here's how you win. You share the video, you tag a parent or a coach, and please make sure it's public. That's the key. Tagging and sharing parents or coaches need to be made public so we can see it. If we can't see it, you can't win. So it's very important. So please go ahead. We've had a lot of interaction, a lot of engagement the last several weeks on the show, which is fantastic. And there have been some lucky winners of the prize giveaways and some great interaction with the audience. Our winner of the $50 gift certificate for Rip It will be announced on next week's show. All right, so let's get back to Coach Whobrey and Coach Bitterman. Okay, again, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. So how'd it go for your teams last night? You guys started your playoff runs, pretty much.
It was good. We knew it would probably be a very easy game last night. The tough game will be, of course, this Thursday for the championship.
Yeah.
So it went as planned.
District championship for you?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And for
Yeah,
you,
it
Coach?
went really well. We hit pretty well. The pitchers stepped up and made some really good defensive plays, and we're looking forward to Thursday to Mount Bird.
Mount Bird. And who do you have?
We have Windermere,
Windermere.
up and coming team, great coach. You know, it's a branch off of West Orange, and they fight. They're young.
Right.
I know next year they're with being in first year of school last year, so there were really a lot of juniors and sophomores probably on that team. So
They took big strides this year, too.
oh yeah,
Windermere from last year.
yeah, they sure have. They're a
Yeah.
good team. Yeah.
And Montford's always been tough.
Yeah, they're pretty solid.
always tough.
They're good. They have a couple good lefty pitchers, and
Uh-huh.
they're 1 through 9 pretty strong. So we got to come out and play our best game.
Yeah, we were saying before the show that we're happy that you guys both won last night, because the show from a playoff perspective might be a little awkward.
Yeah.
We'll be talking in the past tense if you guys hadn't
Yes,
moved on. So
definitely.
congratulations on winning, and
Thank
hopefully
you.
that helps our show.
Thanks.
Prior to the playoffs, how did each of your regular seasons turn out?
Regular season went really well. We have 2 7th grade pitchers, and looking ahead into the season, I was kind of like, I don't know how it's going to go with the pitching side. But they stepped up, and they've done very good for us. And then we had a senior shortstop. She started pitching to help out the team, and she's had a lot of innings and helped us out of big innings. Our hitting, we've hit very well all year, so hopefully we can continue doing that the rest of the postseason. But we've had a very successful regular season.
We always play a really, really tough schedule.
Right.
You know, a lot of state-ranked teams we played. We did the Kissimmee Classic, and we also played in the Bartow tournament. The Bartow tournament was a little disappointing to us. Didn't do so well on Saturday because I had a couple seniors are out, either taking tests or what was going on. But the Classic, we had a great show in the Classic. So we should have won all 4 of our games. We ended up, the one that we did lose was in extra innings. So, and it was a great game all the way around, great tournament all the way around. So we're all geared up. I think we finished the season 18-6-1. So, and 6 of the losses, 3 came from Barstow tournament. So, you know, but very pleased on how it turned out. Seniors have really stepped up this year, just overall hitting the ball well. Of course, we're a pretty good running team. So, and we're geared up to take that into the playoffs and get ready to go.
And when you play a tough schedule, like you said, I mean, as a coach, it's a fine balance because playing a tougher schedule could mean more losses, but better preparation for when you get back in your conference, and you got to kind of keep the kids up.
It's like I say all year to the girls, 25 games don't matter.
Right.
It's what we started to do yesterday.
Right.
Okay, that's what matters. So, and I want the schedule tough. I want to play competitive teams.
Right.
And that way they know once we get into the playoffs what to expect. They better be on their A game, okay? Real let down will make you lose. You know, you lose, you're done. So.
Oh, you hope that tough schedule pays dividends now in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Did you accomplish your team goals that you set forth before the seasons so far?
I think so. I think we've done a pretty good job just accomplishing our team goals. Mostly here in the postseason, we always strive to win a district championship and make it to states, and the girls have individual goals throughout the season, and then we have individual game goals as well. I think goal setting is super important when it comes to sports, and just especially high school sports, when you play a lot of the same teams more than once. It's really important to just be able to make those adjustments and have goals and things in mind that they can strive for. So I think we've done a pretty good job accomplishing our goals.
Good. Very good.
Same here. The girls have individual goals, but as team goes, of course, we want to be #1 seed in the district, which we were. We won our OBC championship, which you know we accomplished that. We know we got a tough going here on out since we got out of the district, but our personal goals this year is to make it to the Final Four. So.
Good. As your season was progressing, 25 games you mentioned, a long season, over several months, right? Did you find you were ramping up as the season was going on? Did you hit any kind of wall at some point? Did your players decline in any areas because they were starting to get a little tired mentally, physically, keeping school, but academics up? Do you find those kind of things play out during the season?
I think we're ramping up here at a pretty good time. It's always interesting around the spring break time, especially at TFA. A week prior to spring break, our seniors go on their trip. So that we really have 2 main breaks in the season, and that's always an interesting part in the year. But this year, our seniors really, it didn't affect them, and they've done a really good job coming, past spring break and all the senior festivities that they have going on now. But they've done a very good job just leading this team, and I think we're ramping up here, going into postseason at a pretty good time, just team chemistry and things like that.
So you feel good going into the playoffs?
I feel pretty good going into postseason.
Same here. You know, I always tell the girls, this game's made for you to fail. Okay, if you get 33% in school, you're flunking. Okay, but here on as a batter hitting 333, you're doing pretty darn good.
Those are Hall of Fame numbers.
Yeah, and I tell them, we're going to hit slumps. It's going to happen. Hopefully, we get out fast. Okay, so you're not going to go 2 for 4 every night. You might go 0 for 4. But how we come through that is the key. And my girls did really well this year. I mean, some of my top hitters, they went 0 for in a game, but the next game they came right back. So we're good, and they work hard. We, like Katie, the spring break is the tough, okay? This year I actually gave spring break off. And I don't usually like doing that, but this year I went ahead and gave them spring break off, and they came right back in, and we went into the Classic, okay? And they did really well. So we're ramped. We're there. The hitting's there. The defense is there. So we just got to carry it.
Sometimes that mental and physical break, actually, they need that. They need extra practice. Again, knowing your team, knowing the pulse of your team, and when to apply the pressure, when to take your foot off the gas, right? So yeah, it can pay dividends that
Yeah.
way, right? Now, how do you prepare your players for the change in intensity from the regular season to the playoff season? Especially the younger players who may have not gone through it before. Like, your more experienced players have gone through the transition, but the younger players, regular season, the playoffs, typically everyone steps their game up. How do you guys prepare your teams for the change from regular season to playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, we try to keep it as consistent as possible. I think if you change too much late in the season, it comes back to bite you a little bit. Our practices, we practice in a way that we want to practice in postseason the whole season. So I think that for the girls, they're kind of used to it, and they're used to the intense practices throughout the whole year. So when postseason comes, it's not a big change to them. And I think that's when teams improve. It's earlier in the season. It's 25 games, pretty much practice games for postseason, like Coach was saying. And that's the way we look at it. But I think my senior class, they've done a great job just bringing in those younger girls, especially at TFA with 7th and 8th graders on the team. You just never know how that team dynamic's going to be, but they've done a great job with them and make them feel included all the time. And we have a very good team chemistry because of our upperclassmen.
Exactly. Chemistry is the key to anything, and we don't change much to ramp up for the districts or beyond. It stays the same. It's consistent. We might go a little longer on defense if we need to work on something. We saw something, but it's really, I usually split the infield and outfield up. The outfield will go hit, and we'll do the infield, and then we'll switch them, and then we'll bring them together.
Right.
But it really stays the same. We don't change it. I mean, the intensity, the games we play, they already been through the intensity of the games, the loud and all that. But chemistry is it. I mean, the older girls this year has really taken a lot of the younger girls, the freshmen that are on the team right now. There's 3 of them under their wings, and they show them. A lot of my freshmen last night got to play in the district game.
Okay.
I had a freshman pitcher that pitched the district just because I wanted her to have the experience
Sure.
and show the pressure. And
Right.
she's seen the pressure, and she got nervous, but the older ones talked her through it, and that makes a world of difference with the chemistry on the team.
Now, sort of my segue to my next question. You guys sort of start answering it. That's how have your more experienced older players taken on a leadership role, and have they taken the younger rookies, freshmen, under their wings to make it so they can play more relaxed in the playoffs? So you both fear that's happening in both your teams.
Yeah, I mean, our upperclassmen, they're the best at bringing in just the younger ones, and especially during middle school, it's a unique situation to have middle schoolers on a varsity team, and middle school for girls is not the easiest time of their lives, but
Right.
having upperclassmen that just takes them in and sets those examples for them is really the key to making a tight unit as a team, so they've done a great job.
Yeah, same here. When you have the young girls playing in position with one of the older ones, like my center fielder, my starting center fielder has a freshman. Everything she knows, she's teaching the younger one.
Sure.
And that's such a easy for a coach when you have
It's
teammates
like
that.
having another coach on your staff,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah, absolutely. And the seniors, like I said, that really picked up. My senior pitcher has helped my freshman pitcher,
Yeah.
to, like in last night games, to talk her
Sure.
through different things. My senior third baseman has, helped the catcher, because she actually used to be my catcher, and I
Right.
moved her to third base this year. So she'll talk to Delaney a little bit and tell her, stay down.
Right.
Don't pop up.
Sure.
Your arm's strong enough to make the throw. Just stay down, get the call first from the umpire, and then make your throw and stuff. So just great chemistry all over.
That's good. Question from Dr. Phillips, softball. How much more difficult is it for you in your pitching rotation come playoff time versus regular season?
I
And
think
that's a
for,
question I have later on too, but be
Yeah.
more specific, yeah.
I think for us this year, we have 3 different pitchers, and they've pitched pretty evenly all year, just the amount of innings. And the quality of opponents that we've played too, they've kind of been put in those situations, all 3 of them. So when it comes to postseason, I think a quick hook is very important. I mean, every run that you give up could be the difference of a win or a loss. And they kind of know that, all 3 of them know that, and if they get pulled early in the game, they know that they can help the team either offensively or in a different defensive position. For us this year, it's going to be definitely a pitching staff, and we're not going to be able to ride on one girl this year. But
Full rotation.
I ride on one girl. I'm not that blessed. But
Softball
I
has
do
a
have
pitcher.
a freshman. Yeah, and Alyssa is she's just a great kid. Robert over at Southwest Florida is going to have a heck of a pitcher.
Sure.
So, but I ride her every once in a while when I know I'm playing, week team, because you just have to play a week team here and there because of your conference or whatever.
Sure.
And so the freshman gets to experience, some of the varsity time. But yeah, this year we're riding the horse. Yeah,
Sure.
So.
As the playoffs approached, did you start scoreboard watching in anticipation of your early round matchups?
I watch it all year.
Yeah.
Okay, it just because I know what we have to go through after we get out of the district, so we watch it and see what teams are beating up on each other and stuff. And being around for a little while, I can ask the coaches what kind of pitcher do they have.
Sure.
Are they throwing the right ball or whatever, and what kind of hitting do they have? So you're already scouting.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you hope, at least I did with the Bartow tournament, I was hoping to see Bartow in Winter Springs and play against them. I didn't get the opportunity to do that.
Right.
But yes, you're watching the scoreboard all season. Playoffs, of course, but all season you're
Sure.
watching it.
yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, you're checking out who your opponents may be.
Mm-hmm.
Your coaching chat rooms that you
Yeah.
guys
Oh
have.
yeah.
Yeah.
Has your practice regimen changed at all? We talked about it a little bit earlier, but regular season versus practice, do you start working on areas of weakness to increase your strength? Like if you were during the regular season, if this was an area of vulnerability, do you work on that extra time in practice?
Yeah.
In the playoffs?
Yes and no. We stay with the same regimen as hitting and stuff though, but now we concentrate more on the short game.
Right.
Okay, so even my fourth hitter is going to bunt.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we work on the short game a little bit more hitting wise, but as defense wise goes, it's the same. It doesn't change. We just,
Right.
like I said, we implement the bunting a little bit more than what
Sure.
we normally would do in the regular season.
Yeah, we try to keep it consistent. Like I said earlier, I think any change now is a little too late.
Yeah.
So you try to keep it consistent and just work on your areas of weakness, because now, teams know what your weakness is, and they're going to try to pick up on that and target that area when you play them. So you're always working on your weaknesses, hoping that you can strengthen the overall team so they don't pick up on one little thing. Like if you're weak at fielding a bunt, or
Yeah.
if you're weak at playing small ball, they're going to pick up on that really fast.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you're trying to increase, gain any advantage you can by working on those weaknesses throughout the whole year, really.
And hitting wise, you're not going to change the swing this late in the season.
No.
It's going to, work with what you got now.
Yeah.
That maybe might change your approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is-
Yes.
Mentally approach,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Now, which, my next question is, I know we talked about the practice regimen, but now if you're facing a certain type of team, a small ball team, power team, do you change your practice regimen to address, a team that's gonna bunt?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we do, like, for example, tonight's practice, we basically know what Windermere does.
Yeah,
So we'll work on the little defensive things that they might try to bunt or whatever,
Yeah.
And so we'll work on that. And we try to do a scouting report before every game with the girls, sit down
Right.
and have a talk. I used to call it powwow.
Yeah.
The girls don't even know what powwow is. That's how
Right.
old I am. Okay, so it's a talk.
they want this, let's have a 4-1-1.
So
That's the new age.
Yeah, so, but we do a scouting,
Right.
we know where, certain girls hit, if it's left center or right center or
Sure.
whatever, then we'll just do the movements on that.
Right.
We also know the weakness on some of the hitters, especially if you're playing before, because you got your pitching charts and you can
Right.
judge from there, so.
Same as for yourself.
Yeah, playing Mount Verd, we've played them so many years in the district championship. We pretty much know what they have, and going from yesterday's game was a little bit slower pitching. We'll try to see some faster pitching today in practice and just get them up on that speed, and that's really the adjustments we made. They're small adjustments, but in the long run, it's the little things that it comes down to. So.
when you're facing a certain pitcher, we talked about not changing anything major on the hitting side, but if you know you're facing a certain pitcher, a rise ball pitcher, a drop ball pitcher, velocity slow, you know, a lot of off-speed stuff, do you address those type of changes as in your practice for hitting if you know you're facing a certain type of pitcher?
Yeah, definitely. And I think throughout this year in our regular season, we've seen every type of pitching from 62-mile-an-hour rise ball to very slow change-up girls. So I think more than ever, we've seen a wide variety of pitching to prepare us for the postseason. So I think that's going to help us in the long run. But definitely, I mean, if we know we're facing a rise ball pitcher, we're going to make the adjustments in the box and try to make those adjustments in practice. And I think now they're really understanding that a little bit more than they have in past seasons, just facing the variety that we face this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, same, you know, you have to be mental in the box, you know. I always tell girls, you're going to strike out, it's going to happen, you're going to carry it into defense or maybe nice bat. But same thing, we know we're facing a rise ball, we'll work on it, okay? You know, outside curveball or inside pitcher, we'll work on it. I mean, we'll sit there a little longer and practice and work on those pitches that we're going to see. So, and we just try to teach discipline. No, the strike zone, okay? Because, you know, there's only one strike zone. We can tell you right here, that's the umpires. That's interesting and tough. I guess it really depends what inning you're in. Yeah. Okay. And what the score is. So if I'm behind a little bit, let's say in the later innings, and I'm down by 1 run or whatever, I might put then I would be in the first or second. So it just really depends on the situation where you're at. Do I try to change my plans? No. I try to stay aggressive the whole time. Both.
Yeah.
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Basically, that's it, right. So but it may change based on the strategy in the specific game.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah.
Now, as the season winds down, do you spread out your playing time amongst your roster, or do you narrow it down to who your starters are going to be come playoff time?
I mean, for us, we're always playing our 9 girls that we think give us the best chance to win in every game. So they kind of know that going into postseason and just late in the season, they know that depending on the matchups and who we're facing, that could dictate it a little bit too. But it could change game to game. It could change week to week. But we're going to put the 9 out there that we feel is going to give us the best chance of winning every game. So it doesn't change much from regular season to postseason.
Same here. I mean, you basically have your starters. You might switch your lineup, batting orders a little bit here and there.
Right.
And then what I normally do, I look for that 10th player or the 11th player who I can trust in a certain situation to bring in the hit for someone if I need it, if someone's struggling. So, I mean, during the season, a lot of girls play, you know, because we're fortunate we get a little lead and people can come in. But, you know, you're looking for the hitting and see if this girl can do the job, if you know.
So they have rules. They understand the rules going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
You're my 9. I'm locking it down.
Yeah.
You guys are role players. You're coming off the bench to run. You might come in late for pinch hitting purposes. You might come in off the bench defensively. But otherwise, they understand, which is, again, more college-oriented.
Yeah.
I mean, I know all of them are going to college to play softball, but you know what? That's the reality of college, right?
And they know.
They may have 20-plus players on the roster in college,
Yeah.
but they've got their 9 starters, maybe with 3 or 4 secondary players that they utilize, and then everyone else is sort of in role, you know, and so that's sort of what's done there. As far as we talked about the riding the hot arm, you use a rotation, you ride the hot arm, so we've covered that. Is your hook for pitchers in the playoffs quicker than the regular season because there is no tomorrow?
For me, no.
No.
Yeah, live and die with mine, and that's what's gonna happen, you
Yeah,
know.
if she can't get it done, there's no one else
No,
who's
we
gonna
better
get it
hit the
better.
ball.
Right.
You know, so, you know, no, yeah, we're gonna just ride and die with Alyssa on, you know, so.
Right.
She'll be, we're fortunate to rest her this week so far, so, you know, and I had a pitching, coach come in and work with her on Monday and Tuesday, and she'll work with her again tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just to fine tune her, hopefully get the changeup working a little bit better and stuff. But, yeah, I don't have a choice.
Yeah, it's a little different for us because having young pitchers, you just don't really know day to day.
Right.
Sometimes you might have a game plan going in and then they surprise you and they're still developing and changing game to game and growing as pitchers and just learning the game every day. So yeah, it's gonna be a quick hook and they completely get it and they understand it and they know if they're not pitching that game or that inning, they can help the team in another way. So I think it's working pretty good and we've kind of done that all year. So we'll stick with it in postseason and have a quick hook, but definitely, you know, have confidence in whoever's pitching at the time.
I know a couple of years back when I had 2-3 really good pitcher, yeah, it was a short string.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
you gave up a walk or, you know, if they have a runner on first time, we'll go put another one.
Yeah, you always put it back in.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
get it back in,
Yeah.
go warm
I
that
mean,
back up.
The reason
Yeah.
tomorrow, like you say, you
Yeah.
don't do it next week.
Yeah, yeah.
One and done potentially. Do you guys play for one-runs games, or do you play for the big innings? Like, do you play more small ball in the playoffs, or do you standard just mash the ball and score as many runs as we can?
Again, it depends on the game and the situation. I mean, to come into what my philosophy is, when we first start the game, hit the heck out of the ball. Just hit the heck out of the ball, it scores some runs.
Right.
Get the lead first, okay? Now, if it's like a 0-0 ball game and going in the 5th inning, small ball's coming.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll change my philosophy a little bit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have a pretty good balance from small ball to the long ball. But going to postseason, it's definitely, I mean, every run it means so much. So small ball, I think, does show up more in postseason from other teams. For us, it's kind of the standard. We do that very often anyways. But I think from other teams, you see a lot more small ball go
Yeah.
as you get later in the season just because they're close games. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
very close games.
Yeah, so you don't change the philosophy, you just adjust, adapt to the game
Yeah.
situation, okay? What are some of the giants in terms of schools that you might play there, where you might be the David versus their Goliath, that you're gonna have to get by if you want to advance? You might be facing this week.
Yeah, so Thursday, Mount Verde,
Yeah.
we're definitely the underdogs going in, but I know if we play our softball, we can definitely compete with them. And after that, we're matched up with a district down in Tampa, and they have Calvary Christian, Berkeley Prep, and those schools down there, Tampa Catholic, and they're always solid. They're always battling it out for the first and second place in their district.
Right.
So getting out of our district's hard enough, and then getting paired up with that district is a challenge, but it'll be interesting to see who comes out of that district
Sure.
here in the next couple of days. But yeah,
So your first Goliath opponent will be this Thursday.
I think so.
Yeah.
I personally, I think we're probably in the toughest class there is in Florida. Once we get out of the district, I'm gonna have to go face the 4th team in the nation, okay?
Yeah.
And then if we're lucky enough to do that, then I'm gonna have to go face the 2nd team ranked in the nation.
Right.
So it's this, you know, with Seminole County over there with Haggerty's in it
Yeah.
for sure, and Winter Springs.
Right.
You know, we're gonna get the loser of that game. Haggerty's state champion last year.
Right.
So, you know, we got a tough battle. As soon as we get our district, it's a tough battle. So I'm hoping Windermere will pull off an upset, you know, so,
Right.
you know, you hope for that kind of stuff. And then we know that we're gonna, you know, get through Haggerty. I'm assuming Haggerty's gonna lose to Winter Springs.
Right, Winter Springs, yeah.
But that's a rival game
Yeah,
too, so
exactly.
you never know what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
exactly.
So, but I'm assuming we're gonna face Haggerty, which is gonna be a tough battle. Then I'm sure we're gonna, if we win that one, we'll come back and have to face Winter Springs.
Right.
Which would be, talking about a great team, a lot of D1 commits in that school.
Undefeated team, right.
And then once we
Yeah.
leave that, then we go face Bartow or Lakewood Ranch.
Right, yeah.
So it doesn't
the
get
road
easy.
doesn't
Yeah.
get easy. You guys have bring a lot of slingshots, huh?
Yeah,
David,
yeah.
David rule.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully it'll turn out, and you know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah.
you'll slay the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Excited.
that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
Does the umpiring change in the playoffs? In other words, do the calls get tighter in terms of watching runners for leaving early, watching pitchers for illegal pitches? Strike zone tighten, does it widen? You know, does it change or are the umpires staying the same?
It shouldn't, and yesterday
And we can put you in a witness protection program. So what the umpires don't see this, yeah.
yeah, I mean, besides having another set of eyes, because now it's 2 umpires, there's 3 every game. But the strike zone should stay the same, and that's what, as coaches, we hope for going in postseason. We hope that they don't try to, you know, make themselves bigger than what it is. But, you know, you see it time to time. But yesterday there was no, you know, it was fine yesterday. So that's what I'm hoping for postseason.
I think what I see really is, again, we're back to telling the girls that the strike zone is the umpire's strike zone. That's the strike zone. I think they do tighten it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I see a lot more illegal pitches happen in the playoffs. You know, so you gotta watch that a little bit too. So yeah, in my opinion, it gets a little tighter. You know,
So they tighten things up.
But as long as the umpires are consistent, I'm good. You know,
Yeah.
and that's all you can ever ask for as a coach. Be
Sure.
consistent.
Good
Even
or
if it's
bad.
consistent,
Yeah.
yeah,
Good or
yeah,
bad.
even if it's bad, just
Yeah.
be consistent.
Sure. Your fan base is getting ramped up for the playoffs?
Yeah, they're excited. We have a great support system. The parents are awesome, and the school's excited. So
Good.
Yeah,
They're
same
ready.
here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the fans are, the parents are just awesome this year. School's always awesome, very well supported. You know, we had local community. I mean, Tijuana Flats fed my girls last night, you know.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is. So, yeah, very, very thankful for the fan support that we have.
Be tough to say goodbye to your senior players after their contributions to the program?
Definitely.
It's always tough, right?
Yeah.
Anytime a player leaves to go off to
Definitely.
college or
Yeah.
whatever.
My worst day of the season is when they hand in the uniform.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
and you know, it's just, it's when the tears happen a little bit. You know, you
Yeah.
try to hold them back, or even at the banquet and stuff like that. And, I mean, senior day's bad enough,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
But then when you have to collect your uniform when the season's over, it gets worse there. You know, and then the banquet after that. So it's always tough. And my seniors this year have done a really great job leading this team.
Yeah.
They've really stepped up, you know, and you can see it. So, yeah, it's always tough seeing a senior go.
Yeah. Okay, tough part. Any predictions? You guys want to make any predictions or no? You want any locker room banter for the other teams to hang up?
I don't want no ammunition. Give me
Exactly. That's a trick question. I had to ask that. But that's great. Well, I want to thank Coach Whobrey and Coach Bitterman for appearing on our show today on Facebook. We certainly appreciate your insights, your commentary, as well as your views about the playoffs from a coach's perspective. I'm sure our Rip It audience enjoyed the discussion today, as many of them have either entered or are entering the playoffs. And they're getting geared up as well, and hopefully you provide some good insight with how you handle your teams, your players, and your experiences. And like I said, I know you both historically had some great success in the playoffs and a good reputation. Does that add any pressure because of your past success?
No, I don't really think about it. I mean,
Okay.
we tell the girls, leave your legacy,
Mm-hmm.
okay? We have a great tradition at the high school. And I said, and we always said, what are you gonna do about your legacy you're gonna leave here? And that's what we want you to do.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Same for yourself?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, again, best of luck. I hope you guys, again, go all the way.
Thanks
On
so
your
much.
respective divisions, we really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, and now it's time for one of our popular and favorite segments, the Rip It High School Heroes. There was a lot of action and a big week for our heroes who were all in action this week. In the Battle of High School Titans, Winter Springs edged Lake Brantley 3-2. Ainsley Furbush continued her strong string of pitching performances, going 7 innings and striking out 7 for Winter Springs. Lake Brantley's pitcher Gabby Sacco was equally strong, dueling Furbush by going 7 innings and striking out 10, but unfortunately came out on the short end of a close 3-2 score. Harmony edged Okeechobee 1-0. Taylor Barrett hit the deciding home run and was also dominant in the pitching circle, going 7 innings and striking out 15 on the night and shutting out Okeechobee. Dr. Phillips was dominant in their 10-0 win over Boone. Rachel Trockey bounced back from a tough loss to West Orange last week by no-hitting Boone over 6 innings while striking out 16 Boone hitters. That was much defense, I guess, in that game, right? Chalky also hit a home run, as did teammate Deja Ben. Gracie Lopez also chipped in with 3 hits on the night for Dr. Phillips. St. Cloud, Coach Whobrey's team, had a big win over Toho, 18-3. Morgan Watrell and Delaney Carnell each had home runs for St. Cloud, so it's a nice, as you said, big win. Lake Mineola got off to a dominant start in their district play by being Coe 17-1. Morgan Shannon and Sarah Barefoot combined on a 3-hitter while striking out 4 over 4 innings. A couple long-distance dedications all the way from New York, as Red Hook High School defeated Highland 3-0 in Mid-Hudson, New York Athletic League softball. Alexis Murphy pitched a complete game shutout and struck out 12 for Red Hook. So nice job by Alexis. Another long-distance dedication all the way from upstate New York goes out to Emily Motoshiski, who had a big week in the pitching circle and at the plate. Motoshiski went with 2 singles, a double, and a home run and 4 RBIs. And the pitching circle, Emily won all 3 of her games and struck out 28 batters over the 3 games. So a very dominant performance by Emily last week up in New York. Holy Trinity Episcopal outlasted Space Coast 7-6. Allison Turner went 3 for 4 with a home run, and Shade Dimmer went 4 for 4 for Holy Trinity. Windermere Prep beat Faith Christian 11-1 to advance to their district championship game against Cornerstone Christian. Julie Reith went 4 for 4 with 3 RBIs for Windermere Prep, so they've been a nice run as well on the private school side. And finally, a unique segue from Windermere Prep. Former All-State Florida high school outfielder, you might recognize the name, Sydney Pollock, hit her first college home run in the past week. It came in Pollock's final week. It was her final week as a college senior before her team's upcoming conference playoffs. It was an exciting moment for Sydney, and I have the video, and I put it on Facebook and stuff like that. It's on our Player's Choice, but website as well. But Sydney was really excited, and so was her dad, and I'm still icing my head after hitting the ceiling, jumping up and down when I saw the highlight there. So that was a great moment for Sydney. And those are your high school heroes of the week. And remember, moms, Rip It has a private Facebook group just for you. Just search Softball Mom Squad. Click the link in the comments below. As well, remember to like, comment, and share to promote the growing softball community. Tag a parent or coach. Share this video for a chance to win the Rip It $50 gift certificate. We'll be announcing the winner next week's Wednesday, May 8th, live on Facebook show. So again, make it public, tag and share the show and the video for a chance to win a $50 gift certificate. So again, thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you again next Wednesday at Rip It Live on Facebook.